From TVM, sadly, we now have to say it finally. Thank you and goodbye.
After a decade of broadcasting, in the early 90s, TVAM lost the breakfast television franchise, and in 1993, GMTV took over.
I'll be presenting the regular weekday top of the morning slot. Half an hour of conversation, advice, blind dates, glossy gossip and consumer reports from you, our viewers, around the country.
I went from TVAM and I kept on to do GMTV. And whilst doing GMTV, I got pregnant. That was quite unusual to see a very heavily pregnant woman on telly.
I shall waddle off and let you get on with your exercises. Thank you very much.
And I remember going off, I think it was the 1st of June, because Rosie came like about a week later, and I was supposed to be going back to work in September. We didn't have maternity leave or anything like that. And I remember 2 weeks before I was due back on, I just got a phone call out the blue. Thanks very much, but we've got someone else. And it's like, oh no, we've just got this massive mortgage, we've just got this tiny baby. You know, the bottom just dropped out of my world. What do I do now? And I could understand my mum's feelings about, but we have to give her the best possible life. So, yeah, that I felt that pressure then. And I had to get my little show reel, you know, your tape of all your best bits, and baby under another arm, and I just went round everybody looking for work, because that's what you had to do.
It's 9:01. Back to Lorraine and the lovely Rosie.
And thanks very much indeed.
Fortunately, I was asked back to GMTV because they wanted to do a mother and baby slot, and the sponsors wanted me to do it.
Welcome back to the first in our special series, Mothers and Babies.
Of course, there's a little part of you that just wants to say, get stuffed, but that would be daft. So it was a huge relief. It was very much a show about my experiences, talking to other mums, you know, doing all of that. It was actually a lovely, lovely little show. It was really good. It did very well. That led on to me coming back for good with my own show later on in the morning. So it worked out fine for me, but it was really scary.
Since Lorraine's return following this very brief break in 1994, she's never left our screens.
Hello there, good morning.
Cementing her position as a regular face on British breakfast television.
It's funny, a lot of people say to me, oh, your big break was when you got asked to come down after Lockerbie and be a presenter. Yeah, kind of, but for me, the moment where it all kind of came together and it clicked was when I got my own show. And OK, we went through that horrible time of where I was sacked, effectively, but that is when I just felt as if I sort of came into my own.
Snapshots of Lorraine's show.
Great TV presenters and great broadcasters make it look like an easy job. That's why people constantly come out of Love Island and think, oh, I'm going to become a TV presenter, because they think that it's easy. It's just not. The fabulous bit about Lorraine is she makes it look effortless.
Is it George Clooney again? Will you tell him to stop bothering me?
I'm always asked, is Lorraine really the same as it? And yes, she is. She is. She's probably a bit more sweary, if I'm being honest, but we're Glaswegian. This is what happens.
Lorraine is never stuffy and is almost never really formal, if that makes sense, even if she's talking about quite serious things.
Where do you two get your strength, though, to keep going?
I think from each other, from our children, from our family and friends.
There's an informality about the way she presents.
It's that thing, I guess, of not only mourning him, but mourning what the life that he wasn't allowed to live.
Yeah. I definitely became better at my job when I became a mother. I had a lot more empathy, a lot more understanding.
In 1996, Lorraine was to report on one of the toughest news stories of her career.
Welcome back to Dunblane, and a very tragic day, as you probably know by now. 16 children killed, slaughtered, and their teacher.
I think when you're talking to someone, you've got to give them time. You know, you've got to give them time. You've got to let them tell their story in their own way. You've got to give them lots of reassurance.
My next guest, Ali Ross, her sister Joanna, was one of the 16 children who lost their lives. Ali, I have to say, when I first met your family, you were the one that actually, I think, saved everybody, because you were this tiny little baby and you needed to be looked after. And it was sort of like life goes on, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was good.
I think that is kind of the message now, really, that it didn't just stop for us all. No.
Definitely not. Your mum had asked to see me, and I went in, and we just kind of instantly bonded, me and your mum.
I just listened to her, we talked about our kids. That was all it was. And it's just, I think you've got to give people time. Just give them time and show empathy. you know, because they're going through hell.
I just don't know how you actually really get on with it. It's extraordinary.
We just have to.
And to this day, you know, I want whoever has trusted me with something that's very difficult for them to talk about, they have to go away feeling they've done themselves proud, or the person they're talking about, they've done them proud. And that's the most important thing.
She's true to herself and she's generous. She has such a huge, generous spirit.
Lorraine at an award event.
On and off screen, Lorraine has campaigned and put important causes and subjects in the spotlight.
I think breakfast TV and daytime generally have really, really pushed a lot of boundaries. Goodness me, when I first did TVAM, we weren't allowed to say cancer. It was the C word. And because of the kind of shows that we were doing, because you were allowed to express your opinion, you can talk about all sorts of things. You know, there's no limits to that. And I think that's really important.
Lorraine Kelly.
One of my proudest achievements is being made an honorary gay by Attitude magazine, and that is fantastic.
And all of us want to do is have a good life, be allowed to love the people that we love.
The world has changed for the LGBTQ community massively over the years. To have somebody who might be your aunt sitting there openly accepting the love between two people regardless of their gender, you think about how radical that is. It's changed the cultural landscape.
I prefer Susie, but I don't mind Eddie. I prefer she, her, don't mind he, him. Right. No one can make a mistake with me unless they call me Gregory or Sabrina.
You love each other, obviously, but there's just something extra special about declaring it in front of everyone who loves you.
You don't work in telly for 40 years without really understanding the power of the position that you're in, the privilege of the position that you're in.
Of course, cancer is this big, scary word, but actually, the earlier it's caught, the better. Smash the poo taboo. That's what we want to do. There should be no embarrassment when it comes to talking about our bowel health.
When a campaign kicks off on the show, she puts everything into it.
I remember her doing a campaign about body positivity, which back then was a massive deal. You know, she really has championed those kind of causes.
Protect Britain's foods! Get Britain checking!
Well, we are here at the Houses of Parliament, heading all across the country.
And they've changed and saved lives, these campaigns on the programme, so I think they're hugely important.
My next guest is a real trailblazer when it comes to shining a spotlight on the menopause.
Do you know, it's funny because you're saying that I'm a trailblazer, but you were talking about it way before me.
Well, today, I'm going to be swapping places with Dr. Hilary. He's going to interview me.
I think because Lorraine is so very down to earth, she's able to break down embarrassments and taboos that perhaps no one else has been able to do in the past.
I was getting a little bit narky, I think.
Right.
Safe to say, a little bit like that, a little bit sort of like just not feeling myself.
By her being so honest, I think viewers really took that to their hearts and said, it's okay to talk about it.
Trembling purple wildflowers, then Lorraine at home.
This is my wee cupboard where I keep awards and things like that. That's the big BAFTA. Oh, it needs a polish. Don't be looking. Needs a wee look. I'll give it a wee polish like that. But yeah. Oh, God, it's heavy. Heavy, heavy.
This year's special award goes to a much-loved journalist, interviewer, presenter, campaigner and author, Lorraine Kelly.
It was a lovely night. It was a really nice night. I mean, I'm never really all that comfortable about being the centre of attention. So once I'd got over myself, I was fine. And it was a moment, you know, it was a moment to treasure. It was lovely.
I mean, it's Lorraine, do you know what I mean? You don't even use her second name. It's Lorraine. She's like up there with Kylie.
I mean, I couldn't think of anybody better to present that special award to. And I was particularly honoured because I know that, sadly, my sister is no longer here. I know that my sister would have been so happy about me presenting that honour to her greatest fan, as my sister was to Lorraine. That would have made her year.
This is amazing. Thank you so much, BAFTA. It's such an honour in front of such an amazing audience.
If there were more awards, I'd give them to for services to the public. She does this because she's passionate, she loves her work. And I think real people, they recognise that.
I never, ever take it for granted that so many people trust me with their stories.
To do what she does for the length of time she's done it is truly remarkable.
Thank you so much. I'm on the telly tomorrow, but I'm going to celebrate tonight. Thank you so much.
Lorraine working at her tablet computer, then Joel Dommett.
You feel like there's an honesty there, that the person she is on telly is also the person she is when she walks through her door at night.
Lorraine is a complete trailblazer. For women, she has mown the path. The grit, the determination, and the bloody-mindedness that I will not be sidelined in my career. And that, for a woman to have had this long a career at the top of her game, is unique.
I just think, looking back, how privileged I am to have been part of people's lives in a way. Because it is an interesting time of the day that we're on. It's quite an intimate time of the day. People are eating their breakfast or they've just come back from the school run. You know, you're very much part of their life. And I think that's wonderful.
She's kind of like the nation's comfort blanket. And I think that's the magic of Lorraine Kelly. She is the queen of daytime.
Have I changed in 40 years? Fundamentally, I don't think so. I still think of myself inside as still being that kid that came down to London, you know, thinking, wow, this is amazing. And I think I will always have that curiosity. And I don't think that will ever leave me. And it is what keeps me young, you know. I love it. I learn something new every day. And that's really important. Every single day you find out something new. I mean, there's not many jobs that happens in. So again, I'm very lucky to have that experience. And yeah, it's all sort of wrapped up in the fact that I'm just basically nosy.
Emma chats to Stuart Murdoch of band Bell and Sebastian about gig memories and his first novel in What's on Scotland Friday at 7. And 10 of Britain's best amateur designers compete to win a dream job at Marks and Spencer's. Find out who has it all sewn up on STV Player.